Hey guys, good morning. Saving the talking bit for the downhill. I've been talking quite recently on these videos about the carnivore diet, ketosis, and cancer kind of stuff. And so, what's the purpose of all this, right? So, really, cancer is a metabolic disease, and cancer tumor lives primarily on glucose, and actually they run in a different way from normal cells. Normal cells run on oxidative phosphorylation, and cancer runs on like a fermentation process, and apoptosis, which is where cells are supposed to die. They kind of knock it on the head, and they just keep growing and stuff. All right. So the idea is that what you're trying to do is reduce the amount of available glucose in the body, so that cancer can't live on it. That's real simple terms. And the way you do that is you want to get your body into ketosis, and ketosis is really helpful for the rest of the body, apart from some parts like in the brain or whatever that need a little bit of glucose, which is made internally by the liver. And so you switch your body onto ketosis, which means it uses ketones, fat bodies or whatever, for energy. And cancer can't metabolize that. So what you're effectively doing is you're starving the cancer of its main fuel. There is also glutathione and stuff, but glucose is the main thing. And then, hopefully, if you're on some other kind of protocol, or you're taking ivermectin, mebendazole, that kind of deal, then you're also hitting actively the tumor. So that's kind of how you're kind of dealing with it. It's been working for me so far. I mean, I've been getting scans, MRIs, and it's fine. But the mistake I made initially was when I started in March a year ago, I wasn't doing ketosis. I wasn't doing the keto diet or the carnivore diet or any of that. I missed that. I missed out on doing that. I was just taking the repurposed drugs. And so it's kind of retarded. Okay, and then finally I figured it out. And then after I got onto the keto diet, I then saw expert scientific help who's really helped me out with implementing this. So what that means is that I'm now on this therapeutic carnivore diet, and that's really restrictive, and I don't care. I'm also on intermittent fasting. Now, I received a document, an 80-page document, explaining all of this, and some of the stuff I'm trying to say today comes from reading that document. But basically, if you look at it, you've got insulin resistance, which is hyperinsulinemia, like the proper word for it. And that is the cause, not only of cancer, but high blood pressure, cardiac events, diabetes, Alzheimer's, metabolic ill health, a lot of autoimmune diseases. So what you tend to find is that people will go on the carnivore diet, and it isn't necessarily a short-term thing. You can stay on the carnivore diet as long as you need to, but people will go on the carnivore diet to seek relief from some of these ailments. And so this insulin resistance thing is upstream of all of the issues. And in fact, funnily enough, with modern oncologists, they tend to try and develop drugs to treat the downstream issues, but the upstream issues is dietary. Ketone endocrine mitochondrial therapy, KEMT, is basically what I'm doing. And so, sorry, I'm looking out of breath here. The issue being that, oh, and one thing is I'm on melatonin during the day, because melatonin is a really effective anti-cancer drug. I'm on 100 milligrams of melatonin 4 times throughout the day, nothing to do with sleep. I'm on it right now. I'm not sleeping. I'm walking in the woods. I took it when I got up this morning. So melatonin, really important. Okay. So with this insulin resistance being upstream of all these other things, what's going on is that you may well be pre-diabetic. And I was never diagnosed with this because I never went to see a doctor. I never had diabetes, but I think I was probably pre-diabetic. And a lot of you are like, whoa, what does that mean you haven't been to a doctor? Well, when you get all the symptoms of it, like that belly, the visceral fat, the belly, you know, all the various symptoms of it. And now that I'm not doing it, I can see that. And having lost 35 pounds, since I went on a therapeutic carnivore diet. And so the issue is, especially modern doctors, they might measure your glucose, but they're not measuring your insulin. So what happens is you might be maintaining like normal levels of glucose, but the reason you're maintaining normal levels of glucose is it because your insulin is getting higher and higher in the blood, which they're not measuring. And so that's insulin resistance, and then that causes, you know, a whole bunch of issues which I can't even remember or can't even list. Okay. And what causes that is carbohydrates, which break down into glucose. And then that's transported by insulin into the various cells and laid down as fat. Okay, whereas if you use fat as your energy source, I think I said something like you have to have 80-20, like 80-20 fat to protein, but it might not be that much. It might be, you know, 60-40 or whatever. And it's important that you eat protein with fat. Okay, it's when you eat protein with carbohydrate that you get the issues. And then there's a whole bunch more to this. Like, it's really important. So what? Fiber, vegetables, not good for you whatsoever. Okay, you can be like, oh, what's he talking about? It's a crazy guy walking in the woods. Okay, you need bile, and actually bile is going to break down the fats. It's going to help transport the vitamins that are in the fat. And you might, as you're getting fat adapted, and if you were hyperinsulinic when you started this thing, and then as you move into ketosis, and you're not just trying to get into ketosis, you're trying to actually get properly fat adapted. And if you are hyperinsulinic, it might take you a while. I don't think I'm even properly there yet. And it's been months. I stopped having the runs. You didn't want to hear that. But what that's basically saying to me is my bile production is kind of caught up with what's going on. Vegetables have oxalates and leptins and are actually pretty poisonous for you. Okay? So I know I sound like a cardio extremist, but this is science-based. It's not me that's saying this, okay? I'm reading this. So, basically, just to not talk for too long, hyperinsulinemia. I probably had it. You may have it. The reason you have it is the modern diet. I'm going up this hill right now. Is the modern diet where you're consistently eating processed foods, seed oils, carbohydrates, sugar, glucose. You're eating, you're snacking, you're consistently keeping the insulin levels high, higher than they need to be. You're no longer insulin sensitive. You have too much insulin. Too much insulin is the downstream effect, or the upstream effect of all of the bad things that are happening to you. And the reason why you're a fat ass, just like I was. Okay? All right. That's all I can remember for now. I'm going to stop this.